many messages. You can continue to do so. The text line is active. Our Facebook stream is also on now. The problem has been rectified, so you can alternatively join us on Facebook. But we shall be having conversations in relation to the running mate position of both political parties. Let me start with the New Patriotic Party. I think before a few days ago, before the last, I should say, 48 hours, the conversation was that the Energy Minister, Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, was going to be the running mate. In fact, people are even saying that it was because of that position, that dream to become the running mate. That's why he hurriedly went to marry in early 2023. But there's another person who has become part of that conversation, Reverend Opoku Onyina. Reverend Opoku Onyina is one person who is very known amongst the Ghanaian clergy. He is of the Church of the Pentecost. He's the immediate past chairman of the Church of Pentecost. Now, he made a Facebook post which I'll read out. And that is where a lot of the inferences are coming from. It says, and this is one day ago, "The Lord has a reason for creating me. Burying my talent and making it redundant is doing a disservice to my family, church, nation, and world. I fail to speak, to work, to contribute. I allow the bad minority to rule and dictate. Often, the silence of the majority, or a good one, helps the noisy minority destroy society or even rule." From my script on words of wisdom. Then there were lots of comments, many comments. In fact, some people even came to say that if he decides, or if he starts talking like a politician, they will treat him as one. Yes. Then he came back 21 hours ago. He says, "Very interesting. I coined my last post when we, the Church of Pentecost, adopted the theme, being a good steward of God in my generation in 2015. I examined the man who received one talent and hid it in the ground. I then wrote, the Lord has a reason for creating me. Burying my talent and making it redundant is doing a disservice to my family, church, nation, and world. If I fail to speak, to work, to contribute, I allow the bad minority to rule and dictate. Often the silence of the majority or a good one helps the noisy minority destroy society or even rule. It has many lessons. Last night, I was looking for a quote that touched my heart on preaching to post it. As I could not find it and stumbled on this, I posted it. It has nothing to do with what is going on." What is going on? Perhaps it has come at the wrong time. Timing is important. I still keep my head and place Christ first in whatever I do. Reverend Opoku Onyina, 21 hours ago on Facebook. So once again, I'm going to start the conversation with you. Is it true? Is there any scintilla of truth? Is there any modicum of truth in what we are hearing, that the former chairman of the Church of Pentecost would be side by side the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, on the ticket of the NPP come December 7th?
Bless, I think that power is vested in the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia, to choose whom he wants to partner with. But if we're going to go strictly according to the NPP's constitution, I'm not too sure Apostle Professor Opoku Onyina has been a card-bearing member of the NPP for more than 5 years, even if he has. But you see, I wouldn't be surprised if he is also chosen, because Dr. Bawumia himself was a beneficiary of these waivers. So even if he has not gotten, he has not been a member of the party in good standing for more than 5 years, Dr. Bawumia can go ahead and do so. See, where the country has gotten to is no more about whether someone belongs to the Church of Pentecost, whether someone belongs to the Anglican Church, whether someone belongs to Mozambique Crisco Disco Church, and so on and so forth. The foremost consideration in electing or selecting any candidate must be the person's competence. How well the person will be able to help the president in case they are successful to develop the country. That must be the foremost consideration. But what I'm hearing, or what I've been hearing in the last few months, is that NPP must settle on someone from the Ashanti region as a running mate. And when you listen to the argument, it becomes laughable. Because the running mate you and I know, and even recent developments, the current vice president has bastardized the position of a running mate. The former president they also bastardized the position of a running mate. The current vice president is telling us that he is just a mate who has no control or power. He only do as he is asked to. So why must we all focus on the issue of a running mate? It therefore tells me that all effort or concentration must be on who is the flag bearer. So if the MPP believes that they need an Ashanti person to be a running mate so that that person can bring in that much needed votes, then why didn't they choose a flag bearer who are from the Ashanti region? In fact, that flag bearer will have his face on the ballot. So clearly, the NPP is now confused as to who should lead them. In terms of what Opoku would add to the ticket, look, for those of you that think that by just selecting Opoku, you are going to cash in on the 3 million Church of Pentecost members, maybe you might be living in a fool's paradise. You understand? There are a lot of NDC members who are members of the Church of Pentecost. In fact, the current arrangement of the Church of Pentecost, there are more butterfly and a movement for change members in the Church of Pentecost than any organization or political party in this country. Because the Church of Pentecost believes in the truth. And I will be very surprised that the Church of Pentecost will go and support a candidate in the person of Dr. Bawumia, who has proven that truth is not part of his dictionary. If the church decides to go on that tangent, what they will be telling other members who believe in the truth. I was born into the Church of Pentecost, by the way. And Makion, the ideals and principles of Makion that was used to establish the Church of Pentecost. Truth is a pillar. And that's why the Church of Pentecost says possessing the nation, and they believe they will possess the nation by using truth. So how would the church reconcile believing in the truth and also voting for a candidate that has shown that truth is not part of his dictionary? So anybody that is doing any political calculation thinking that by appointing Unyina will bring in any votes, I'm sorry for you. In fact, it will cause more members of the church, few of them who are with the MPP, to even vote against the MPP. Then if you say you are settling on Apostle Unyina, you must look at his track record. Is that not the case? So far, we can only judge his track record having been the chairman of the Church of Pentecost. The growth that he introduced into the church. Remember, he took over from the one that died recently.
What's myself?
Into me. Into me, had done a yeoman's job. Grown the church. So he continued from that angle. Now, in terms of public life, how would you assess his performance if you are going to settle on him? The only metric I could use will be his role as a chairperson of the National Cathedral. Can any member of the Church of Pentecost, as for Peace Council, when he was there actively partaking, I don't think they were even supported legislatively. So I can even pardon that. But currently he is the chairperson of the National Cathedral, the trustee, board of trustee. We all know the scandals that has bedeviled that institution. As we speak, the nation has sunk close to $50 million on the ground without any benefit. And he is the chairperson. So if I am going to analyze Opoku as to whether or not he will even bring anything onto the ticket, mind you, whether if you go and bring even Angel Gabriel, the New Patriotic Party will lose election 2024. That one, I can tell you without any shred of doubt. And that the movement for change and Mr. Alan Chamate will have an emphatic victory. Onyina would rather come and soil the image of the Church of Pentecost. I know how people castigated the former chairman of the NPP, the NDC, and how the Church of Pentecost had to suffer because of chairman of Usampov. The least thing he said, head of the Church of Pentecost, the church suffered. So you don't marry the two, church, business, and then if you are a pastor, be a pastor. You have retired from pastorhood or whatever, priesthood. Remain as such. Don't come and use these few days to go and destroy something that a lot of people have built as a Church of Pentecost, and the church must also take a position on it. Because politics is a different terrain. Where the man is leading them to, the church will be scrutinized by Sahara, if they care to know. And no amount of prayer, they should take it, will change how the Ghanaian will view the church. You understand? And it is also, it's a development that has the tendency of not encouraging people to work hard for a political party. So that you work very hard for a political party, just like what happened to Dr. Baumia. He was nowhere near the New Patriotic Party. Everyone who had worked very hard in the party was sidestepped. If he was coming in as more competent than all the people within the MPP, that one I agree, because as a movement for change, what we stand for is to cause a government of national unity where we bring all talents in the pool to develop the country. But if you are going to choose someone whose competence is in doubt, and you sidestep people who are more competent than him and having sacrificed for the development of the political party, and you make him your running mate. Now the person also get the opportunity. He is not looking inwards as to the competent people in there. His whole idea is, how do I get a candidate who will present as though I am not someone that discriminates. I go with Christians, I love Christians, and so on. This whole idea of trying to settle on Onyina. And there is truth in it anyway. Though the power rests on the vice president, there is absolute truth in it. That he wants to appoint Onyina, but he's facing a serious challenge internally, because people feel that, hey, if that is the direction you are going to go, then where lies our future? Especially those that were so vociferous, those that were used to do all the mafia work. You know, Vice President Baumia does not have that footing in the MPP to have carried out all the injustice in there. He used people within, and those people that he used thought they would be given, because he promised more than 30 people of running mate position. So they were working like bulls. Things that they were not supposed to do, they were doing it with ease. Oh, let us go and mafia this man, they'll go and do, because they are all waiting for running mate position. Now the man gets the position. He is looking into the future. That election 2024, as I've said, he will lose. But when I lose, what will be my future in politics? Do I go and appoint someone who is already known in the MPP, who will contest me in the next primaries, or I go and bring a neophyte, a very new person, someone who is not known in the MPP circle as Onyina, so that when we lose, just like the way NDC settled on Jane Nana Opoku, did you hear her try to attempt to depose former President John Mahama? She sees herself as an outsider, so Onyina will see himself as an outsider. He will not worry him, so that they can continue to perpetuate their stay. And in opposition, they will have the money. You understand? In opposition, last time I was having a discussion with one of their communicators. He boldly told me that Alan is not going around because Alan doesn't have money. I said, is that so? You people have money. Eh? How did you come by the money that you are spending? You have stolen from the country and you are not ashamed that you will tell me that you have money. And then they can continue to hold on to power. If I were the family of Onyina, I will not. God is not calling you to come and do anything again at this stage. This business of the least opportunity, you people want to abuse. People have abused the name of God. Then one name that has been abused in our part of the world is God. They cash in on it unnecessarily. A lot of young ladies have suffered at the hands of these so-called pastors because of the use of the name God. Elderly people, old men and women, especially the women, our mothers, they have suffered name calling, witches here and there because of the use of the name God. Now you want to use the same name God to come and confuse us. There is nothing wrong being a Muslim and contesting on your own strength. You understand? There is nothing wrong. If Vice President Bawumia believes he's a Muslim, and Muslims constitute close to 17% of our population, and for him it's a disadvantage, and so I should go in for someone who is a known brand, a known Christian brand to take care of it, it does not do us any favor. If the party that he is coming from did not see the need, that the statistics of this country showed that there were close to 72% Christians in this country. And so if you are going to do this religious battle, you better settle on a Christian. But the party said, no, Ghanaians are wise enough because our constitution mandates the EC to register only people with sound mind who will take sound decisions. And so they will not care about who is a Christian, who is a Muslim. What is the party's problem? Onyina must save the family. I know the family. He should not go down with these people. These people, they have spoiled themselves. Right. The vice president has no credibility before the Ghanaian people. Take it from me. And the LPP will suffer the heaviest defeat, electoral defeat, come this year. See how the system is so quiet. Ghana, when change is coming, that's how it is. When change is coming, that's how it is. So, you see, people will not take interest in the political game. You will say, these people, will they vote? They will wait and wait for you to do all your nonsense. And when it is election day, you see all the old women coming out of jail. When you see elderly people going to vote, it represents change. They are going to clear you. So why must you go and add yourself to people who are already on their way out? And that their only last hope is that the elections of 2024 will be stolen and stolen for them. And who is going to allow stealing to take place? That's the hope. That's the only hope. And you want to go and steal, and you want to partner with an apostle. Only recently I realized that Dr. Bawumia, his thesis was on elections. That's why he puts figures together and come and confuse people. Right. So the apostle must save himself, save his church, save the family, and distance himself from the attempt to partner him with the vice president who is on his way out of power for Ghana to develop. Right,
thank you very much, Mr. Osu. Let me turn my attention to Facebook. I've received quite a number of messages from that platform. Hearty good morning to Abdul Razak Mahama, who is doing the watching. Also, Martin Jenin says, even if I want to vote for Onyina because of Bawumia, I will never vote for him.
You are.
This one here says that, good morning, Bless, and your discussants. Tell Solo that his submission about truth has thrown a lot of challenges to the Church of Pentecost to decide. His analyses are so genuine and I love him. Jesus said, I'm the way, the life, and the truth. I pray this apostle doesn't defile himself by yoking with Baumia. He should remind himself with a scripture that says, do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 14. David from Accra. Thank you, David, for your message. This one here says, even though I'm not a fan of the trotro meat Baumia, but I will also be surprised to hear him select Opoku Ungina as his running mate in the run-up to the 2024 election, since Opoku Ungina himself okay, some of your language is too harsh. I'm sorry, I can't read it. Oh, we are tired of MPP. If they bring angel from heaven, they will still lose. NDC all the way. Nyori Talat from Najong, Bunkpurugu district. Thank you so much for your message. This one here is from WhatsApp, and it says, Dr. Onyina should think twice. The kind of politics we play in Ghana isn't safe for a religious leader like him. I love and respect him. He should distance himself and save his image. Oscar from Sampa. Thank you, Oscar, for your message. Once the driver is reckless, automatically Baumia as a mate is going to be reckless and corrupt. President Mahama has a track record of building his nation. Those who think he can't do much in 4 years should tell us what this government has done in 7 years. Thank you so much for your message. This one here also says, Amiyao Kisi from Takrade said the recklessness and cluelessness of this corrupt Alhaji Baumia MPP has migrated GM from his human status to angelic states. In fact, MPP's performance is worst and wicked, characterized in all sectors of our economy, and it's only GM who will correct the errors. 24-hour economic policy acquired by regards to Dr. Grace, incoming MP for Isikadu Ketan constituency. Thank you so much. There are still a lot of messages here, but I'll proceed to Honorable Segbefia to does the decision, or will the decision to pick the Church of Pentecost former chairman, will it send some shivers down the spine of the National Democratic Congress? Maybe you look to Apostle Dakeward Mills or some other some other apostle to match, Professor Opoku. Honorable Segbefia.
First and foremost, the choice of any running mate in both our political parties, the two main ones at the moment, rests squarely in the bosom of the flag bearers of the party. And all you find is that a lot of people on both sides of the political divide are testing waters. So they throw names in, they want to get some reaction from people to see how people are going to react or otherwise in terms of who is going to be a running mate or not. It's happening in the NDC, it's happening in the MPP. And at the end of the day, it's a question of how people think that type of social media discussion is going to influence the decision of a flag bearer as to where he's going to go or not, as the case may be. They do a lot of research in the flag bearers, and they look at a number of factors and then come up with a name which is then considered by, in our case, the Council of Elders and also the party hierarchy. So it's done in consultation with them as to who should become the flag bearer of the running mate of a political party. And this type of speculation sometimes can be unhealthy. However, in the particular case of the MPP and the pastor, it's a very delicate issue. And why do I say that? In the realms of chieftaincy, it is clearly stated that if you are a recognized chief, gazetted and what, you have to refrain
from party political positions. And even though you have chiefs doing it, if you wish to enter into this type of political terrain, or for that matter, even become a minister of state, you'll be expected to resign or remove yourself from your stool and become an individual to do so. The same does not apply for people, men of the cloth. But in actual fact, their responsibility is greater. Because for the men, the chiefs, they represent their area, and their chiefs, not the whole of Ghana. So if they've decided they want to take a position which is not going to affect the whole of Ghana, and even that the constitution frowns upon, when you are wearing the cloth and you decide to now get into frontline active politics, it begs the question whether you should be, when wearing the cloth, you actually already represent the whole country and not just your particular church. And because of the nature of politics, you have to be careful how you do it. Because are you saying that everything that a political party has done, you agree with it? And would you be bold enough to say, I don't like this, but I like this? In this particular case, the biggest albatross round his neck is the cathedral. Because the cathedral is a no-go area. And it's even an indictment of Baumia. So I don't want to comment. I want him to bring him. And then we'll all measure and see where it goes. Because Baumia has already been accused of bringing religion into an area so forcibly that he should not. He should desist. And now to try and move away from that, they say you are contemplating such a move. I won't say it's a bad move, it's a good move. Just bring it on and let's see what the reaction is. It's his choice. But I just read something, somebody, I think was it Napoleon, who said that, maybe not Napoleon, but one of the great leaders, when your opponent is doing the wrong thing, don't stop him. Encourage him. So, as to the choice of the running mate in the MPP, I'm not going to comment as to whether they are doing the right thing or not. That's their headache. But
that's Bonaparte, by the way.
Bonaparte, yeah, Napoleon. I was right. Okay.
Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake.
Thank you. So, he should continue thinking what he wants to do. As somebody said, where the MPP have reached, regardless of what they do, they are going to lose the election. It's the question of degree. The only way they can change that, is what Solo has already said. They have planning to rig the election through foul means and also to bring in violence. We are aware. So we have to be vigilant and make sure that we have strong people who are prepared to stand up and do the right thing at the polling station. That is what will bring what the natural decision of Ghanaians want. So I'm not going to go into the religious or the tribal or the whatever. Whoever the MPP want, they should bring. We are waiting. We are going to do our own. We'll pick whoever John Mahama decides to go with, and the Council of Elders and the leadership agree, fine. Those who have gone on social media trying to test water or whatever, that is yours. But everything I've heard and all the people that I've heard for the MPP, it doesn't move me one bit that NDC is on track to win the next election. So more importantly, running mates play a part, I agree. Yeah. But they are never on any ticket. The picture on this is the flag bearer. And that was the first mistake the MPP made, to pick Alhaji Bawumia Gawuria. I've always said this. When he came, I knew that it had made our job easier. It had made our job easier. And everything is now playing out, and we are seeing it. Movement for Change have said it. What is your message?
what is your message? Not your message. What is MPP's message? What are they coming to tell? After talking for her 2 hours and sweating, what was the difference? What he's saying he's going to do. That's my view. Because you are going to ask that some of the things you said that you are going to do, you had already said it before. It was not done. And you are now only a mate. The analogy was even wrong. So I'm clear that whatever they choose, whoever they choose, whatever they bring, but to bring someone linked to the cathedral in a very big way, over to you, Joe Gatti.
Thank you very much, Honorable Secretary. I'll do a few more messages. Martin Jennings says, we just don't care about religion. All we care about is who can deliver. Watching you live from Wasai Krupong. Shaibu Isa Alasan Dobi says, good morning, Bless. Watching you live from Sagnarigu. Mr. Bless, our democracy is falling. Leaders who should be advising politicians are now going into politics. Dobby's from Sagnarigu. Thank you so much. Musa Abatua says, going into 2024 elections, John Mahama has good policies which will restore the hope and aspirations of Ghanaians because it's going to increase production and fight corruption. 24-hour economic will be deliberate policy that will create sustainable jobs and revive the ailing economy. So I'm encouraging Ghanaians to support him to be able to build the Ghana we want. Brian Mahmoud says, greetings to the Upper West Regional Chairman of the NDC. Chairman Bunas, good morning. Dr. Alhaji Hassan, MP, Alhaji Siddiq Famina, Chairman 1, and not forgetting the West Central Zonal Coordinator, Chairman MBA Oli, VIP. All right. Thank you so much for your message. And finally, this final one. Sam Banfo says, are you cool to you all? Extending my sincerest greetings from Amsterdam. Okay, thank you very much. Now let me come to Prof. Isaac Boedi. Prof.
Yes, interesting times. Well, anytime you are close to elections, you hear a lot of things. Last week was all about Vice President's speech. Today we are saddled with another. Names are coming up. Don't be surprised tomorrow. Usatayi becomes the running mate for another. So the names will be coming up. And it's not within our purview to decide who becomes the running mate. But once the names are coming up, we can comment and then talk about those. So that's why we are here discussing all this. But let me make a few remarks here. On other social media platforms, Napo had gone to marry quickly because he wants to. I think some of the things are quite private. I don't know whether he came out to say that he wanted to marry because he wants to.
No, we just inferred.
Yeah. I mean,
because we didn't understand why he wasn't married. Then all of a sudden, we just about a year to election. He had the hints that perhaps he was going to be considered, and so he quickly
married. It's so interesting sometimes when you hear those things. And then the name that has come up, Professor Ujina, quite respectable person in the church area and in the country. We know his worth, what he has done so far for the Church of Pentecost and the Christian community. So I don't know whether we've received confirmation from the church that they have endorsed him. I don't have a
No, nobody is. This is speculation. The church has himself. In fact, quickly, you know, when I read the comment first, I actually saw it as an indictment of the current government. I didn't see that what he was saying was in relation to his hope, because he was talking of a minority group ruling and so on and so. So it's like he's going to come out and speak. I actually thought he was also going to looking at resignation from the cathedral. I didn't see it the way people. So that's why I'm saying that I don't see it happening the way. But maybe we are wrong. So if somebody is testing the water with this, they have gone down the wrong route. You understand? I actually read it slightly differently because I said, oh, maybe the man wants to resign from the cathedral. You understand? So that is. Sorry.
So that's fine. So once we've not had seen any confirmation from the church, then it's all about speculations. Tomorrow, I'm sure another name will come up. The next day, it will be coming on until finally a name is given by the the flag bearer or the candidates. In fact, all the names that are coming up, they mean well. And there are those people who have done it both in NDC, in MPP. We heard some names, Gachi, good friend of mine, and the rest. These are wonderful guys who...
Professor Gachi. Is it which Gachi are you talking about? UCC?
No, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, several names, president of several names have come up, both the party, both NDC.
So Professor Gachi for which party? For the MEC? Oh, okay. I see.
Oh, you've not heard that? I mean, a lot of other names have come up. So, but I must say that all the names that are coming up, they mean well. They have done well in their own small way. So today they become the running mate for these flag bearers. I think so be it is fine. But then the lesson that we are picking out of this, the running mate should be able to offer something to the one who will be the president. And that's what we're discussing. If you don't have any value, anything from them, then there's no need to waste our time. The vice president must be able or should be able to contribute something. And who is a running mate? I mean, someone who runs with another person on a single ticket. And they are picked to balance the ticket. And often based on geographical reasons, ideological reasons, and so many reasons. That's why we pick those ones. So someone could be a Muslim.
Religious reasons.
That's a religious religion. For what we are talking about could be basically religious reasons.
Yeah.
He's a Muslim and he picks a Christian. Geological could be from Ashanti and pick someone from the north. And then we can talk about ideology. Do we go the same way? Do you have the same? You can't go and pick someone who is a right-left and go and bring a center or whatever. It won't work.
Yeah.
And we also don't want someone who will be picked, finally becomes the vice president, and we have a chaotic situation in our country. A president and a vice, they can't talk, they can't relate. That's where I'm looking at. So if we a party, so if a party is going to pick someone, then we assume that they have done good work, background checks very well before picking that person to be the running mate. Other than that, there's no need to talk about. They must offer something. And if you check a good person to be a running mate, for me, I should be able to pick someone who can appeal to development partners, the World Bank, other donor agencies. If that person will not contribute in that regard, there should be a question mark.
Right.
Again, if you look at the backgrounds of this, must have a public trust. Such a person should be able to have a public trust. And again, should be able to match the opponent. If you pick someone who will not even bring votes, not known, you're doing damage to your party and it don't mean anything for you. There should be a chemistry as well between the flag bearer and the running mate. If you don't have, you have issues. And that is why over the rest of the country, the world, they've been doing. Before they pick someone who will have or becomes a running mate, all this background check is a person independent-minded. Can a person speak his or her mind? You watch this. Very important. For me, that's a good attribute.
Right.
To be considered before you go in for a running mate. Someone who could also speak his mind or her mind when issues are coming up. And these are things that we must also consider. And in terms of someone who is a disciplinarian, a disciplined person, analytical, who can think through issues, come up with solutions to a problem. Of course, every country will go to a lot of issues. And Ghana, we are no exception. We have issues. Is a running mate going to contribute to all this? If the checkbox are in favor of the person, so be it. We go by the person. We will go as a country. We get the rest of the best of things from the person, and we run.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Honorable Secretary, I want to find out from you. I know this is a subject matter that you've spoken about here before with regards to the running mate's position of your party. Now we are learning from one of the newspapers that a certain Togbi Afede's name has also come up, despite the fact that, despite an admission that the former running mate, Professor Jenana Opoku appears to be the candidate of choice. For your position in the National Democratic Congress, I'm sure you'd have some leads, though you would say that power rests solely with the flag bearer of the party, John Dramani Mahama. But I'm sure that you do have some leads with regards to who he is eventually going to choose as his running mate. Do you?
No. I have no leads.
You don't have any leads?
No. I think that he has done very well. He's played it pretty close to his chest. And when the time is right, he will give us a name.
When is the time right?
I can't.
Does that also solely depend on him?
He will consult.
Okay.
When he begins his consultations, it will be done very quickly so as not to give too much speculations. But he'll have a name. He'll consult with the Council of Elders. He'll consult with the party leadership. And then the person would be outdoored. He has the choice of going with names. He has the choice of going with a name. He will be, what he has to do is explain or justify to the Council of Elders why he has made a particular decision. And they will debate it, and very quickly a decision will be made. At the end of the day, he must work with the person. And all the qualities you have mentioned, a good number of them must be prominent. The names that are being called, so even in the MPP, the name of the pastor, as an individual and what he has done, there's nothing wrong. He's a very competent, accomplished pastor in his field as a leader of a church. And running a church, and the politics of church is worse than the one we are playing on. Their politics is even worse. So he has that ability and that experience. But when you have a certain baggage, you need time to blow on it for it to go. Because when you are there with other senior pastors and they have resigned and you are still there, it leaves a bitter taste in this is why I comment. But in terms of him as a person and his ability and competence, no question. The same way if you mention Togbi Apede, no question. The same way if you mention Professor Nanaji, no issue. And there are many names on both sides of the divide that are being called. But it's all news for media and speculation, the game. But at the end of the day, they make the final decision and they go. In our case, we will go the matter. So as I'm sitting here, I have no idea. I have my beliefs. I know where I think if I was asked, what should he do? I know I have an opinion. But as a member of FEC, I wouldn't talk about it openly. I will not go and lobby. It's not a lobbying position. This you don't go and say that, oh, chief, this. You don't go and do that. Why? We are more fortunate than the MPP. Because this is a man who has worked right through the ranks. He's a pure party person, unlike Dr. Baumia. He's a pure party person who has been to the ranks and has risen to the position of president. There's no name you are going to call. He doesn't know something about the person or hasn't dealt with the person. So when he comes with his choice, he's coming with strength. And he has more information than you, the person you are going to speak to him. So we are in a better position when it comes to how he wants to choose his running mate. In the case of the MPP, he's going to fight. Because there are people in his party who believe that even where he shouldn't be there. And therefore, at this running mate, you cannot come and choose.
And so there's that internal battle that he is going to. We are not going to have that type of internal battle in our house, because he has a certain strength coming behind him as former president, not as a former vice president. Though. He has been a president before, so he has held all the positions. He knows all of us. He knows what the people who have names are coming, and he is clear, and that's why we always say that he will hit the ground running. Because he's sitting there now, he knows who he will think of making finance minister. His only thing that will slow him down is that you have to do 50% plus 1 in parliament. So you need to know who are the parliamentarians. Until the vote takes place, your favorite may lose, your this man. So that is where you do some tweaking. But the rest, he's clear. And that's, we have a leader. Unique position we find ourselves in the NDC. So this debate does not affect us. But we go through the motion because it's a media landscape. That's how we go about it.
Who is the movement for change going to settle on as running mate to Honorable Alan Chemanteng?
First of all, that decision rests with Mr. Chemanteng, but judging by the ideology of the movement, we believe in the youth. So the person, first of all, will be someone who is youthful. Number 2, someone who is technocrat, who is not about how popular the person is, whether or not the person will be able to do the job. And if you have watched the political landscape carefully, people are not pushing Mr. Chemanteng to come out with the running mate because they believe that he is enough. His persona is enough as a candidate. People begin to ask for running mates here and there when they see that the flag bearer himself is questionable. Other than that, you have selected a captain. Why must you concern yourself too much on the deputy captain of the captain? What is so special about the deputy captain?
Because he's more than a mate.
Because so in the case of the MPP, they are thinking more of who will be the running mate because they don't have confidence in the flag bearer. Now with the NDC, my only difficulty with former President John Mahama is that he is also giving room for more speculations. I thought when he was accepting his election in Tamale, he would have immediately named the person, because what's the point? Clearly, if I was in the NDC, close to 97% or so delegates went and voted for John Mahama. Is that the case? It means the rank and file of the party accepted his performance in the last election, the 2020 elections. You get my point? So if the rank and file believed that they did well, but 1 or 2 things did not go well, that's why he was not made the president, then why go and change the running mate? Because it means the performance, the running mate then contributed to that performance. So if you have confirmed this nomination, why think about it that there should be a change? And this is the first time I'm beginning to see people actually campaign to be running mates to a flag bearer. You go to the NPP and the chief of staff actually has a song, I say, what are we talking about? The woman says, hey! There is actually a song to that. That the chief of staff really wants to partner Dr. Baumia. Then I thought that was enough. I woke up one morning and they sent me a video of one Tamaklo actually advertising to be the running mate to John Mahama. I say, hey, Ghana has come far. You are campaigning to be running mate.
Which Tamaklo is that?
Leslie.
Leslie. I couldn't believe it. And there are subtle campaigns going on for other candidates in there. Seen a Wada Kun's name pop up somewhere, seen Julius Debra's name pop up somewhere, seen Kodo Bonsu. Now people are even saying, Dr. Dufo, why must a party allow itself for people to set agenda for you? When the flag bearer has what it takes to immediately mention the person's name, there is not, look, you just look at who is competent enough to partner you, whom the person that you can easily gel with. You understand? Because you remember the case of Rawlings and Aka, how it became Sir. You don't need that. President Kofi and Aliyu had a perfect understanding. Now, if you look at the chemistry between Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia, from what Dr. Bawumia is saying, it means there is confusion. Whatever advice he gives is bullshit. Excuse my language. So you don't want to have such situation. But if you are going to concentrate on who is going to be, who will help in terms of having the technical know-how, it shouldn't be a difficult choice at all. But the problem, the two political parties, but I'm not too sure they would have this luxury after 2025, because 2025, when Alan has taken place, when Alan is in the driving seat, all these issues of running mate will become a thing of the past. They are having the difficulty in selecting who should be a running mate because of future elections. Remember, John Mahama will be doing 1 term, 4 years. Remember, Dr. Bawumia knows he's going to opposition. So it's about who takes over the party going forward. So if you give the running mate position to, say, Professor Nana Opoku, 2028, what happens to the NDC? And that was why I thought in 2020, the decision by the NDC to retain John Mahama was a wrong decision. They should have introduced a new candidate. But, hey, that is their party, they know. I thought NPP would have settled a better candidate than Alan Bawumia, so that going forward, their path would have been clear. Now, they have given themselves a very difficult equation to solve, and it is that equation that is dictating all this space. But I believe that at the end of the day, whoever is settled on, the two parties must agree, the supporters must agree. Last November, you remember the Northern Caucus of the NDC said they didn't want John Mahama to select Professor Nana Opoku. How can you say that? When the constitution is so clear that that mandate to select a running mate rests on the flag bearer. You don't choose a flag bearer and then dictate to the flag bearer. Yeah. You don't have that power. Parties, those delegates that are misbehaving and national executives or regional executives might be told in the face that if they select or the running for former President John Mahama mentions the name of Nana Opoku, finito. You go and help her. In the same way, if Bawumia settles on Onyina, you have no business making noise. Go and help him. But I, as a movement for change member, I will be so happy. Because then I will have the facts and data to go at these people. You would explain your role in this country. If you are Onyina, what you did to National Cathedral. I have my pictures. I've gone there. You know, 31st night, I didn't go to your usual churches. Why I went to the National Cathedral, the grounds. The whole. I went to and stood by it, and I was praying to God that God, if this is all that you can cause leaders, you say leaders are chosen by you, and you chose leaders to come and sink money into this hole. Whilst people suffer, starve, that you, this God, I must see where you are. Now you gave some people sense to be using their money to be developing their country, and when it came to Ghana, our money is sunk into the world. And the apostle will explain with Bible quotation, tells him that he should lead this country to expend our meager tax revenue or resource in digging a hole. And I will be the happiest person.
So is your name up for running mates for Butterfly?
Butterfly, they won't choose me.
Why?
Hey.
They say you are too young.
Oh. Me, my candidate retired me, Zamodo.
Right. Let me permit Prof to also share his last bite on this issue. Before, I think we have just 10 minutes. I'll read a few messages, then we call it a day.
Okay. I think on the running mate issue.
Yeah, still also on the running mate. The NDC too, yeah.
Oh, I think I made a comment when I was doing my submission. Extended the discussion to NDC and then what they're also considering. It's around this is the same period that issues, names are going to come up, running mate and all that. The dust should settle, and it will take some few weeks. Once they come up with their candidate, their flag bearer, and then with their running mates, the dust will settle. Then the real game begins. At this stage, we are only speculating this person will become this running mates, another name will come up. So the names will be endless. In fact, today we have a lot. Tomorrow, other names will come.
Is your name going to come up?
I am here to. Right. We should also not forget the gender card as well in all this. I mean, I don't know whether Butterfly will do that.
Yes, we are considering it.
It is very important that we also look at that side as well. Religious grounds, we should also be very careful. We should be very careful. But an area I want to focus so much when they are doing this selection, the running mate should be someone who can also appeal to the media and to the chiefs, which we don't consider often in choosing those people. The media space and that of the chiefs. People in other communities. So they be careful of those things. Yeah. But tomorrow other names
his name will come out.
Maybe.
Right. I'll do a few more messages, then we wrap up. Abubakar Selby says, good submission, Honorable Segafia. May God bless you. Keep it up. Darling Tiana Mario says, MPP has no message this election. They should start writing their handing over notes. Greetings to Honorable Alex from Sefri. We also, Salif Umba Winnie says, good morning to you and your panelists. Thank you so much. Good morning, Mr. Bless. Watching you live from Sagnarico. I think I've done this message. Samuel Adakwa Banfo says, good morning to Honorable Alex. Awudu Samuel says, what was the vote difference between the NDC and NPP in the 2016 general elections? Nia J. Mensah says, Ghanaians will not make the same mistake this time around. Sami Zameku says, blessed. Now we understand why many pastors in Ghana refuse to talk about the bad governance of this NPP government. So if pastors become politicians, who then teaches the word of God? Mr. Onyina, we are waiting for you on the campaign trail. Hey, is that a threat? Okay, I think
the difference was between 450,000 and 500,000, depending on which of the six figures that came out.
Right. Good morning to you all. Blessed. Tell Apostle Onyina to read 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 to 7 from Amos in Asimfusu. Okay, thank you, Amos, for a message. Good morning to you all. I think I've done this one. This one here says, Mr. Solo, good morning. You are now born again. I love the sea breaker from where?
Who's born again?
Right. This one here says, good morning. Please tell this government to pay us our rent allowance. We can't keep on running away from our landlord and landladies. We need to have peace of mind to work as firemen. Thank you, sir. You didn't tell me your name, but you sent your message from where. Thank you very much. Who told the driver's mate that Onyina can save him? He's a joker. There is very little, if any at all, in Onyina which will influence Ghanaians to vote for the field Baumia and the MPP. Nana Kakari from Techima, you shared this message with us. Thank you so much. This one here says, Apostle is a disaster on arrival. Tete from Abokobi, you sent this message. Good morning, bless. Solo is right. The change is coming. The least we talk about Baumia, the better. Former General Secretary of GCPP Party, Alassane Said from Wa, he sent this message. Thank you so much. Good morning, Pan-African TV. Please tell Solo I need his number for some important information. Matt from Ho Central, you sent this one. Good morning. Please, we are tired of this deceitful government. JDM all the way. This one here says that my name is Selom. Nice submission from Professor. Okay, thank you so much for your message. I wonder why the MPP members are still disturbing our ears with their empty talks. After all the noise they have been making, the best they have done so far is to plunge the economy into bankruptcy. Asanko from Santa Maria sent this message. I think our time is up. This is where we'll draw curtains on today's edition of the review segment of Good Morning Africa. Lots of you have watched us today across the country and across the continent. We're extremely grateful. Special thanks to my fellow conversationists or my fellow discussants or my panelists, Honorable Alex Segbefia, Prof. Isaac Boidi of the University of Professional Studies, and of course the Maverick Solomon Owusu.
I'm inviting you to the movement for change.
Yeah, inviting Prof to the movement.
You shouldn't be a neutral. You should join. Yes, you can be a neutral by joining the movement for change.
Right.
Making your vice president.
I want to become the vice if you can.
Making the vice president.
You consider you are separate. Now that people are separate, Professor Jane Opoku, Professor Onyina, he set up Professor Onyina. This is a professor business.
Right, and more importantly, to our cherished viewers, thank you so much for having our time. It's the start. I mean, a new week has started. I wish you the very best for the week. Make sure you go about your job as you should. There's a lot of traffic in town. If you do not wake up early, so I actually had to come to work on a motorbike because yes, I left home very early, but I looked at the traffic situation like. I had to use a motorbike to get to work.
I was promised a sky train. You remember that?
Right, I'll catch you tomorrow. Do have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.
Truly African.
Chacho Chikata, a prominent figure in Ghana's legal landscape, was born in Keta Volta region but spent his formation